Hi, welcome to Reddi. My name is Daniel. I am the accountant for Reddi Industries and the other companies that we have under our umbrella here. I was just going to show you a few simple things about our system today and what we use to create work orders and speak to our customers. So when you open your computer, you're going to log in most likely under the dispatch sign-in. So the username will be dispatch and the password will also be dispatch, all lowercase. If that's any different, then we'll let you know before you sign on. So today we're just going to go over a few quick and easy things about the system so you can see how it works and get used to it a little bit. So your desktop will look similar to this. You're going to look for a blue star along your taskbar here, and that is for our database system called Sawin Pro Enterprise. So you'll see the blue star on the desktop down here. If you don't see it anywhere on your screen, you can right click the Windows key and click search and just type in SAWIN and it should pop up there for you. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And this is the login screen, so we see it's Sawin Pro Enterprise. You should have a login. If you don't have that, you'll have to get that first before you can log in here. So when we first open up the system, we see that we have the option to select different companies, and yours might look a little different depending on what permissions you have for the different companies, but this is the basic screen here. You see we have Reddi Industries, we have Reddi Fence, we do fencing on that side. Overhead door, that deals with the garage doors and commercial doors and even airplane hangars. We do some work there. And then Bailey Brothers is our company in Oklahoma. It's also Reddi Plumbing. So Bailey Brothers is in Oklahoma City and Reddi Plumbing is in Tulsa. But here we just have it under one name, Bailey Brothers. So we're going to just log into Reddi Industries. The password is REDDI, all lowercase, pretty simple. And so we're just going to look at a couple of the features here of the system so you can see how it works. All of these modules at the top are integrated into one database, so they all kind of work together, so different departments will use different modules. Most likely you're only going to be using the service module and maybe the AR and purchasing and inventory module. You see we have payroll, that's for our payroll department, general ledgers for the accounting, accounts payable for accounting, and then some reporting options here. So what we want to start with is just how we create a basic service call. So you can either click on service here, and then we'll go to maintain and service masters. So that's one way to get to the search screen where we look up different customers or create work orders. Another way you can do that is if you're just sitting here on this gray screen, if you hit F7 on your keyboard, that will just automatically bring up the Service Master search. So that's the easiest way to do it. Just remember to hit F7. That'll bring up your search screen. So here we have the search. You can search by name, company, first name, last name, all these different options. Most of the time you're only going to search by address at first. So when a call first comes in, you'll take the customer's information, but the first question we usually ask is, what is your address? So we're going to just type in our address here at Reddi Industries. We'll just type in the numbers at first. It's going to bring up a kind of a large list of anything that has 6205 in the address. So it might be a little too much at first, but you'll get used to searching different ways. You can also type in full addresses. The only problem with that is sometimes you might come across an address that was entered incorrectly. Maybe it's not going to show up there. So just stick with the numbers, and we're going to just search for Reddi Industries. We'll just pick one of these here just to start. But this will show you all the accounts that come up when you search. You'll choose the correct one, and this will show you the customer service master. So this is the service master display. It shows you the company name here in our case, the address, zip code, phone numbers. This side over here is the AR side. So this is the accounts receivable. It's where we would keep track of any bills that are due. It will show you the AR balance, the billing address where the bills would actually go to, and the terms that they have. Some other basic parts here are the division and department, the tax code. That's important that you choose the correct tax code. The service type, that's just a default service type for now. And then this down here shows you all of the different work orders that have been booked for this address. So all the customer's history will be down here in this middle section, and it goes in order here by the service date. So you see we go back in time here, and then come up to our most recent work order. So this is just the basic service master. It just gives you all the information about the customer. We'll try that one more time just to show you again. So a customer calls in, they say they have, let's say, a toilet backing up, excuse me, and you're going to ask for their address. So what is your address? Hit F7 again, and that'll bring up our search screen. Normally it's a little faster than this, but I'm working on a remote connection, so it might take a second here for that to pull up. Okay, and then they'll give you the address. Let's say it's the shop address. We'll just use that again, 6205 East Kellogg. So I'll type in 6205, and I'll look for the Reddi Industries. We'll just pick shop time on this one. So you just find the address, double click, and that will bring up all of the customer's information. So next we're going to start on booking a service call. So on the right here, you'll have all these different options where you can print, scan. This is for a new SM, a new AR. But when you find someone that's already in the system, you just click on book call. So this is the call booking screen. It's going to show you the customer's information here, their billing address, and then you have to fill out all of the information for the problem they're having. I would recommend always going in the same order every time if you can. If you learn to do it all in the same order, it makes everything really quick and you don't have to really think about it. So normally I work from left to right and from top to bottom. So we start with the division. Let's just say they're calling in because they have a sewer backed up. So we're going to find our sewer and drain division here. So we'll click that. Then we go to the source code. Normally you're going to pick existing customer if it's somebody that's already in the system. If it's a new customer, you can go down to new customer here. That's probably the two that you'll use most often. So we're going to say this is an existing customer. And then we are going to go to the task code. Now this is just a menu of different problems that the customer might have. In this instance, we said it was cleaning a sewer line. They have we'll say a sewer line backed up. Let's just do that. So you'll open up this clean menu and go to sewer line. If it was a plumbing problem, we can go down to any other option here, repair, replace. And let's say it was a garbage disposal. That's down here. It's not too big of a deal if you can't find the exact thing you're looking for, but just try to find something that matches what the problem they're having. So we're going to pick sewer line here. That will automatically put clean sewer line here in the problem description. You don't have to leave that in there. So I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to type in the problem that they're having. So sewer line is backed up. And then we'll say the customer has a clean out outside. So if they call in, they say their sewer line is backed up, you might ask them, do you have a clean out? That's the cap that comes up out of the ground where we can clean the sewer line. Sometimes they're located in basements. There is an extra charge for basements, and your trainer will probably explain all this different stuff to you, but in the problem description, you'll just want to put some basic information that you get from the customer. It doesn't have to be super detailed, but we're just going to say the customer has a clean out outside. Another thing we'll ask them is, how will you be paying today, by cash, check, or credit card? We ask that just so the technician is prepared for however they're going to collect. They can run credit cards or collect cash or collect a check. So we're going to put pay by check, for instance, here. And then next, we're going to go down. We don't really do anything on this next little area here. We're going to go down to time promised. That's the next thing you'll have to do. We're going to put need to schedule, because we're not going to give the customer time right now. Normally we'll tell them we'll get the call booked for you, and the dispatcher will review the schedule and give you a call back shortly to give you a time for that. So we're just going to pick need to schedule here. The next one you want to do is the service type. Now there are a lot of different service types. You'll kind of get used to what they are, but in this case it's going to be cleaning a sewer line. So if I click on this box here and just type SE, that'll take me down to sewer line. You've got a couple different options here. You always want to pick this sewer line here with the S. That's just for the standard service. The M stands for maintenance, so don't worry about that. So we're going to click sewer. If it's a business calling in, sometimes they want you to put a PO on there so that when they get the invoice from us, it has their PO number. They can tie that to everything that they're doing in their billing. So pay attention to that. If you have a commercial customer calling in, you can ask them, do you have a purchase order you'd like to put on here? And you'll put that there. Most of this other stuff we don't have to worry about. You can change the payment type if you want. If they give you, they're paying by check, that's the default here, so it'll always say check. You don't have to worry about that, but if they tell you they want to pay by cash, you can change it to cash, and that'll be helpful when we do the invoicing later. And the final thing we'll do is the special instructions. So if a customer has some kind of special instruction for you, especially now during the pandemic that we're in right now, maybe they want no contact, so you can put customer requests no contact due to pandemic. You can put something like that, or maybe if the customer has something they want our dispatcher to know, like I'm only available after 4 o'clock. You can type that in there. Only available after 4 p.m. Just little instructions that might be helpful to the dispatcher. It doesn't have to be super detailed, but any good information for our dispatcher is great. So we can put that in there. And that is the end of our service call here. So we'll just save down here at the bottom. And now once you save it, that will create the work order. You'll see the work order number here in the middle, and we'll exit. And so now we're back on that customer's service master, and we'll see here at the very top is that work order that we created. And then once that's created, it goes to our dispatcher's board, and they can look at that. I'll give you a quick view of the board here, just so you can see what they're seeing. Sometimes it's helpful to know what the other people in the company are having to deal with, so you can understand what you're putting towards, their board here. So that call showed up here on the unassigned board for the dispatcher. So they would open that up. This is the work order. Oh, that's actually not the one that we created, but it is on here somewhere. There it is. So this is the work order that we created, and they would open that up and look at any special instructions. They would look at their board to determine the best place for that call. This is what the work order looks like after you've created it. So we see our customer information up here, their billing address to the right, the problem description we entered, special instructions, division, all of that is on here. So I am going to go ahead and cancel that just because that's a training thing in our dispatch. I don't want them to get confused by that. So anyway, that is the basic way to create a service call. There are all different types of services that we do, like sewer and drain, plumbing, electrical, everything. So kind of get used to the different divisions and service types and things that we use, but this is just a real quick introduction to that. So this is our system here. So feel free to find the Sawin system on here. If you've already got a login, you can get logged in and start, hitting F7. Maybe practice looking up different addresses. If I type in, I'll just say my address here. I'm here in the system. All the calls that I've had our company do. Another thing that we want to go over though is how to create a new SM real quick. So let's say that we go hit F7, brings up our search screen. We type in an address and nothing comes up down here. It'll pop up and say no records found. So from this search screen, we just hit exit, and new here on the right will create a new SM. So this is for a brand new customer that hasn't ever used us for service. Couldn't find them by looking up their address. So you'll see up here on the left it says Service Master Creation. So I'm going to create a new Service Master. I'm actually going to use my own information. It's easier here, but first thing you want to do is put in the name. If it was a company, you'll start with the company name here. So first name, last name, then we're going to do address. You'll notice that when you start to type an address, it will pull up it pulls up like a Google Maps kind of thing, and you can choose the correct address down here if you want. That's kind of helpful. And then you'll want to put in a phone number. So we're going to get a phone number from the customer and type that in the home number here. You can also get a cell number or a work number, and that can be entered there. So next, let's go to the division. Now this is just going to be the default that comes up on every work order that gets created on the Service Master. I would not recommend putting anything under a default division because those calls don't show up sometimes on the dispatcher's board. So if you booked a call under 00, maybe they would never see it. So always try and choose something like sewer and drain or plumbing or whatever the customer's calling in for. That's the best way to go about that. So we're going to choose Division 45 Sewer and Drain. Department will always be the default. Next, we want to look at the tax code. So this is in Wichita. So if I type WI, you'll see there's a couple of different Wichita ones. Just always choose the one that says just Wichita. If it was Bel Air, let's say, type in BEL. You can find Bel Air there. Any other city on here, but I'm going to go back to Wichita. Okay, and then next is the service type. We'll make that sewer, just to match whatever let's say I was calling in for a sewer cleaning, we'll make it match. And then the next box will be the customer source. You can change a default on that. That's just what'll pop up every time we book a work order. I'm going to change this to new for now. Then the default payment method, you can always put pay by check, pay by credit, however the customer decides they want to do it. This is just a new Service Master, so that can always be changed when we actually create a work order. We can specify how the customer is paying. Okay, and then the last box that we want to do is the terms over here on the right. So this is the AR side. This is the customer's actual account where they would pay their invoices off of. We have to pick the terms for the customer, and the default is always going to be I believe it says cash on delivery. Yep. So it would be due on receipt. That will be the default that you'll always choose. The only time we would choose any of these others is if the customer had an actual account, which, of course, if we're creating a new Service Master, they won't have an account with us. That requires a credit application and just looking over some things to make sure they're good on credit there. So we'll always pick COD, and then we save. And now once you save, it will ask you, do you want to book a call for this Service Master? If you're taking a call from a customer, it's the first time they're using us, then most of the time you're going to say yes, because we've just created their Service Master, and now they're in our system, and we want to book a call for them. And then we just go back through. Let's do it one more time. Start with the division. Say they're calling in with a sewer cleaning. It's an existing customer. Go to task code. We'll say clean sewer line. Again, that will default up there. You can leave it if you want. Sewer line backed up. Clean out is located in backyard. And then we will choose the time promised. That needs to be scheduled. Our service type is sewer. I don't have a PO to put in here. Everything else is fine. Any special instructions? So we'll say only available before 5 p.m. Let's say they don't want anybody out there after 5. And then we would save that, and it will tell you that the call has been booked. So again, I'm going to go into here and get that canceled because it will show up on the dispatcher's board. Okay, now that's gone. Okay, so that's just a basic intro to that. It'll take some practice. You can go ahead and open up your Sawin program again if you can. Start hitting F7, searching for addresses. For now, maybe don't book any work orders until you get some trainer with you, and then you can practice doing that. Again, that's all for this one. We'll maybe do some more in the next one. All right, thank you.